Hi, pals. Hi, pals, and welcome to the Disneyland Paris Show. Here's your hosts, Lucy, Chris, and Hugh. Gosh. And now, Disneyland Paris News.
Disney 100 celebration.
Hotel opening dates.
Show extended. New season announced.
New show coming to the studios. Well, hey there, hi there, ho there, Disney pals, and welcome to another Disneyland Paris Show. It is quite jam-packed today. Ooh. Not only do we have Day 3 of our recent Disney trip report to share with you, but we record on a Sunday night, as you know, because you're here, you understand that. And then last Monday morning, the Disney news machine took a massive dump on Main Street.
Okay, yeah.
And just news dumped all over the place.
Magical picture
yeah.
to get to your heads.
They just news dumped everywhere.
1 star. I tuned into this for expert tips and advice, and they were talking about poo within minutes. 1 star.
Honestly, it could have got quicker with my track record. Yes, so we've got all that to talk about and more. But first of all, we want to know who's joining us today.
Who are they?
All aboard, please.
There's lots of clunking on tables going on today.
Yeah, sorry.
Excuse me, you two.
First in the chat today is Gareth Pierce, Theme Parks. Hi all, says Gareth. The Dunn family will take second.
Yes.
In the chat.
Good.
Aled says, hello from Anaheim. Literally typing this from the Disney outlet in LA, heading to downtown Disney this evening and having our first day in the parks tomorrow. P.S. It's Scorchio, Aled and Fiona.
Well, colour me jealous.
That is really exciting.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Gel.
That's fancy.
You think it's hot though? I'm sunburnt really badly today. I've got right around my neck is really red raw on my head. And
We've had to turn
I'm like a beacon.
We've had to turn the saturation down.
Yeah.
Mel is here, as is Sugar Sweet Samantha, aka Sugar Sweet Mama. Smigaroo is in the chat. Bob Sanger's joining us. At least get a chance to listen to at least the first bit live. 2 weeks today.
Gent.
2 weeks today, Bob will be in DLP catching up with my cast member friend Tom.
Ooh, we're bobbing along with Bob Sangwell today.
Bobbing along.
Hello.
Lauren says, hello guys.
Hello.
Hi, Lauren.
Hello to Lauren. Cheryl says, evening all, getting ready for school, back next week. I'm not prepared. My littlest is going into reception.
Oh, that's tough. It depends if they've done full-time nursery as well, because Bonnie only did part-time nursery, and then when she went to reception, it was like.
Is it staged release in reception? Do you go in a couple of days, like for a morning and things to start off with, and like gradually get used to it, or is it just throw you into deep end?
I think if they go into reception, that means they should be answering phone calls. And,
I completely agree.
Hello.
I'll just put you through. I just put you through. Just a second.
For the Americans who we know listen, reception class is kindergarten, but I think that we go a year younger than you do. Is that right? No one's helping me. We start reception a year younger than they start kindergarten. Is that right?
Yes.
Cool.
I think so.
Okay.
We've got a live audience behind the camera today as well who keeps laughing at Hugh's impressions.
Mel says, I've had 6 weeks off. I'm not ready to go back to teaching next week. Smigaroo Smiggaroo will be in DLP.
Me neither.
Smiggaroo will be in DLP 2 weeks tomorrow. First time in 20 years.
It's changed, but well, has it? The main park hasn't changed much. I'll be dead honest.
They still don't have the mango Bagheera biscuits. Who is Nate? Says, hi everybody, we missed you all. We missed you, Nate.
Yeah.
Dearly we did. Elgin says, hi everyone, I'm currently packing for my adventure around France, which starts on Friday. Bordeaux, Nice, Lyon, Nantes?
Are you suggesting there
Nantes,
are
isn't it?
other
Nantes.
places in France?
Toulon, Marseille, and then Disneyland before ending in Paris at the end of October.
Bomb.
Jimmy Clements,
Bomb.
Jimmy Clements with the pink waving hand says, hi everyone, the famous pink waving hand, will be in Disney World next week for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party.
Ooh.
Everyone's at it.
Yes, but can I also say I disapprove of this Halloweenness this early in the year?
Gareth's going in 3 weeks to the same thing. Stacey says, super rough week, so looking forward to some Disney magic for the next hour.
We'll do our best.
We will.
Hello to Katia and Emma and Sam. Yay, first in the chat. Almost. I'm not on the wrong week again, am I? Like that time? No. Lee Travels. Good evening. 25 days to go until DLP AP party and last day of the 30th. Can't wait.
Oh, everyone's making me so jealous, Christopher.
And then we've
I know.
also got Andrew Palmer, voiceover guy. Is looking forward to news about the Disneyland Hotel opening. Hannah is here, as is John. And Wits Wanderlust, we've missed you the last few weeks. So that's Whitney and Nate. Busy moving house, you see. That's what they've been up to. Very happy to be back. I hope it went well.
Very disruptive.
Because it's awful, isn't it? Let's be
is,
honest.
yeah.
It's easy when you're a student because you can put everything into one car.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Entire life in a hatchback.
Hello to Moritz, and the solo show will be joining us. He says I'm here, says Stan, but I won't be chatting much. Working on a build.
It's nice to have you, Stan.
Yeah, I'm glad you told us though. Otherwise, you would have
sticky-
you would have been lurking,
Yeah,
wouldn't
we'd
you?
have wondered.
Have you got
Yeah.
sticky fingers with glue or something? Because it's difficult to put down your paintbrush or whatever. You know, when you're painting a wall and you're like, well, I can't join in, but I want to. Alex says, evening all, watching tonight to put away the dread of return to work tomorrow.
There's a lot of
Me
this
too.
in there. All these poor teachers.
I'm back to work tomorrow. I've just had a week off. I cannot wait. I'm only doing a half day though.
Woohoo! And
You
then
cannot wait
finally,
to go back to work.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
and
Sorry,
finally we've
sarcasm.
got Roz and Hilda. 20 days till MMNSSP,
Another Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party for
And-
those who needed that translating.
and Ed and Pauline. I think that's everyone.
Did you mention that Katia was there? I'm just asking.
Yes.
Do you know why?
Why
Do
is
you know
that?
how
Chris?
37 is a really magic number?
It's the magicalest number of all.
Well, yesterday Katia turned 37.
No.
She did. So I wanted an opportunity to play this.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
I think, can I just say, we have Bonnie isn't back at school tomorrow and she's behind the camera. Do you know what you should do, Bonnie? You should watch live on the iPad and join in with the chat.
Yes.
Ooh, come and say hi on the chat.
Yes.
It's really funny when we play jingles like that because we just sit here really quietly dancing along. We have the sound on very, very quietly so it doesn't go into the microphones and it's just a little bit eerie.
Yeah, like Bonnie won't know what we were dancing
Not
to
a
then. That's why I
clue.
said that she should
It's like
dance along.
Small Man in a Box, or whatever it's called. You know, Small
Yes.
Man in a Box?
Yes.
Happy birthday, Daddy.
Well,
happy to have you along then. Thank you for coming and watching.
I am going to start with some news and then we can talk drinks in a bit. Is that alright? Oh no, are you
We
really?
are pretty
I'm
thirsty.
sweating.
Are you turning to ash? Are you
Yeah,
turning to
thirsty,
ash?
yeah, come
Sorry,
on.
let's just do it.
Let's do the drinks.
If I could turn it to double speed, I would do.
All together. Your tiki 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 cup in your tiki 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 cup. Well, you made yourself a beverage, I'll drink it up from your tiki 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 cup.
Still on the old Mango Pepsi Max.
Now, for those of you on the podcast last week, because we've got these different microphones now, I compressed the audio in the same way that I always do. But apparently, you could just hear the fizzing drinks going for quite a long time afterwards. I apologise for that. I'll try not to make that
Bit
happen
of
again.
ASMR for you then.
Yeah, something like that. Go on, news us
Indeed.
then.
Let's-
Just
Oh.
on cups. This is the cup I took from DLP, the recyclable cup.
Appropriated.
Now, Fiona did say on our Facebook group that a cast member did say to her husband, I believe, or maybe it was just the family in general, just take them. Now, that's not an endorsement. We don't encourage it, but I do feel better.
And you should feel better.
But I've resolved to take this back. So therefore, I'm merely borrowing it.
Excellent.
So on our next trip, they're going to get this back.
The situation is with that though, Huey,
What?
is this does say 30th on it.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go after October, which we're gonna, because we ain't going before October, then they might have changed all the
Fine, I'll
cups.
keep it.
No, but Hugh, if you take it back, perhaps then they will authorise you keeping it.
Yes.
They'll
And
say, "Oh no,
then
no,
it's
no, no,
legit.
no,
Yeah.
no, Mr. Hugh.
No,
Mr. Hugh.
no.
You keep
Monsieur.
that. Monsieur Hugh.
Do you know, they called me on the way back through Charles de Gaulle.
Huge.
She looked in my passport and she said, "Oog." She said, "Oh, we have Lucy and Oog and Bonnie."
Oh look, Bonnie's in the chat. She's there now. She's calling.
Hi,
She's
Bonnie.
there.
It's Bonnie from the next room. She's laughing away through the glass window. Oh, hello, Susie.
Do you know, weirdly, I saw my name and didn't think it was strange. Right, okay. I'm going on. Let's act professionally
Yes,
for a second.
let's do some news.
Okay.
Love it.
So somebody has already kind of teased one that said, I can't remember who it was, but I can't wait to hear about the Disneyland Hotel opening. Well, that's it. That's the tweet. That's the news. Because what we know is the Disneyland Hotel, big posh wedding cake hotel at the entrance to the park, if you're not sure, because it's not got a very distinct name, will reopen in the first quarter of 2024.
It was voiceover guy.
With the exact date being released on September the 12th. The reason it's released on September the 12th is because booking starts on September the 12th. So they have to tell you when it's going to open, otherwise people will just be throwing darts at a calendar, won't they? But other than that, that's all the news we have. So I know you're here to like, oh, they're going to talk about the Disneyland Hotel. We're going to speculate and talk about whether or not we want to go.
I did a thing.
We have additional news.
I did a thing.
Go on, do your thing.
Yeah, so you know how everyone tells us how many days it is until they go to Disney, and I always get really jealous, and I'm like,
We know this.
You're going to have your holidays, like that. Well, ask me how many days it is till my next trip to Disney.
How many days is it till your next trip to Disney, Christopher?
420, but we're not counting.
But there
we're
is
going
one
for Halloween
booked.
next year because, I've dropped many a hint over the last few weeks that as soon as these dates came out, I was going to be looking. So we've done and booked, and we booked Sequoia, but I have a price in my head, and when the Disneyland Hotel dates are released, if the price is right, I will be booking to go to DLH. That is what will happen.
Very, very good.
One of us needs to go there.
Well, yeah. I'd been looking and thinking, because we'd said we can't go again and we don't have annual passes and it's a thing, and we're going to have to, well, not ever, people,
For now.
but we're going to have to stop with the 3 times a year thing, and my job's a little precarious this year after what I did last year.
She's a tightrope walker.
So, yeah. But when this news came out, I thought, how much would it be to just for one night just go and do a review?
That's what Dunfam have just said. We'll be booking a night at the Disneyland Hotel. I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe we just book one night. There's a trip we booked. We're doing a 4-dayer, 3 nights, 4 days. But we're going to stay very nearby at the start of it all, and at the end of it all, we will stay probably halfway back to Calais, so that we can leave late. And then just drive back on the 31st to get home in time to do Halloween.
What's your
here
guesses, people, on per night price? Without, I mean, it's difficult because usually you're paying for packages, aren't you?
But if you look at the cost of the Marvel Hotel,
Yeah.
then it's going to be the same or more than that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
So
the Marvel Hotel, when it first started taking bookings, was far more affordable than it is now. That's
interesting.
what makes me wonder. However,
That
in the middle
was.
of COVID,
I was
so-
going to say that was at a very strange period in time, and they had other hotels still shut, and COVID was happening.
Can you just imagine that if the price was right, we managed to book it and we get back our COVID holiday that we never had?
Oh yeah, because
But
that's
Halloween,
where
which
you
is
were
the best
meant.
season as well.
That's where you were meant to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we decided this time. We definitely wanted to go Halloween. We would have liked to have gone this year, but it's just not really feasible. So
I'm going to look up, just while we're talking, a single night in the other Disney hotels, and I've just for randomness done a Wednesday in March. So that's the first quarter, so this could be when it is.
put it under the camera and show everybody.
So, yeah, let's do it. So, Newport Bay.
It's not working.
Oh, do you know what?
I'm having a look to see if I can get it working. One moment, please, everybody.
I just want to say, of the various, there we go.
No, that's the wrong one. We've disappeared. Oh, that's pretty cool. Those of you on the podcast, you won't have a clue what's going on, and we'll also sound really, really loud.
Because I'm going to start doing general videos for the channels again now that I have a little more free time. I was just thinking of a book my holiday with me video. You know, just record your screen and let people just browse holidays.
Well,
I think
thought
that's
about
fun.
doing that this week, and then I never did. I just forgot. I got too excited.
So Newport Bay is 264 for one night. Do you know what? That is a lot less than I thought, but it is a Wednesday in low season. Disney Sequoia Lodge is £212. This is what I mean by the difference in price. Sometimes it's not as much as you'd think. Here we are. Hotel New York, Art of Marvel, is £435 for one night. Now, I think with that in mind, you're looking at least 600, and I've chosen a low day of the week and a low week of the year there. So I think the minimum you'll get is £600 a night. But I think high season, if you want February half term, which is also in the first quarter of the year, I think you'd be looking at closer to 900. And I think if you want something like Easter, you'll be talking 1100.
Sacre bleu!
I am just pulling numbers out of my nose here, guys. So, well, I didn't want to say where else I might
I was
pull them
inspired
out.
by Carty there, who said in the chat, "Mon Dieu."
Yeah. So I'm not sure this is how it'll go, but that just kind of puts it in context for what this is on Expedia, by the way, which is one of the few ways you can find out what room only is, because Disney only sell packages for Disneyland Paris.
The custard void.
So
Oh yeah, I'll go back to the.
you see, the Dunn family are saying they reckon £400 a night. Dunn family, I think you're living with Tinkerbell in Fairyland there. Personally. Right.
We shall see in 9 days' time.
Yes, we will. Oh, I might be online booking. Not booking. Looking.
I wasn't
rhymes a
booking,
bit.
and then I did.
Yeah.
Laura came downstairs ready to go to work, and I said, "What do you think about this? Can I book it?" And she went, "Just do what you like, Chris."
I'm sick of arguing with you. Just book it.
The first time we went to Walt Disney World, it was April, and we'd had a freak snowstorm in the middle of April, and I was sick of winter. I was sick of it. And then they dropped the free dining offer, and somebody put on Twitter they dropped the free dining offer, so I thought, oh, I'm going to look. And then it was like my finger slipped, and I booked a £6,000 holiday. And all because I was in a bad mood because it was snowing. It's real, people. Disney is the solution to all your problems.
All of them.
All of them. Right. So what's that? Oh,
Hi, Sam.
we have other opening news that goes along with this. Brasserie Rosalie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The big grassy one that used to be Chef Mickey's, or no, Cafe Mickey.
Cafe Mickey.
Cafe Mickey. That is opening in December. No solid dates, but if you are, they have just said December.
I thought you said no solid foods.
So it's
Just
All
soups.
for a straw.
It's
Yeah.
there
Or
for the
drip.
Christmas crowd. Now the thing is, this doesn't feel like a Christmas destination restaurant to me. That doesn't matter, I suppose. You're there, there's an extra restaurant open, have at it. But I'm not like, oh, that makes sense. They're trying to sell their Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve meals and things. It doesn't quite feel like that kind of place. And also we're
Yeah,
not
'cause-
getting details on what kind of food it's going to be serving.
With the greenery on the outside, it's like something from Village Nature, and that just makes me think of like sitting outside there of a summer's afternoon
With crepes
rather
and a
than
salad, yeah.
December. Yeah.
So we don't know much about the food. We gather that it's going to be French bistro style food. So if I don't get a beef bourguignon, I am not giving a good review.
Bourguignon.
Bourguignon.
Thank you.
She always puts a soft G in. I know I probably mispronounced.
So I like to flirt with my food.
I mispronounced
That's why.
some places earlier, but you won't learn, will you? She won't learn.
Right.
Someone in the chat's going to say, actually, Hugh, she pronounced it correctly. It is Bourguignon. It's not, is it? It's Bourguignon.
Sam Metcalf in the chat. She hasn't been there for a long time.
I know, yeah.
Hello, Sam.
Sam.
How are you doing?
And Susie. Susie's here as well.
Susie's
Not
here
seen
as
Susie
well.
for a little bit.
Oh, it's the
Gang's all
gang.
here.
It's the gang.
We
Right.
just need Mercedes. Did you hear, Lucy? We were trying to guess the Disney connection to her newborn son's middle name.
Oh, I know it.
It's actually a name that was already knocking around before the film came out, but it's Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
There you go, a little
Middle name.
catch up for last week. Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah, it's a good name.
Very nice. I
Strong.
like it.
It's cool, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Disney 100 celebration.
Oh,
Now this is going to happen on one day only, on October the 16th. Now,
is that when Disney's 100 on the 16th of October?
believe so. I presumed so.
Bob?
Yeah, Bob, can you
Bob?
let us know about that? Is that its official 100th birthday?
Be a funny time for him to do it if it wasn't.
Yeah.
I made at least 4 Disney 100 pop-up cards that you might be able to find somewhere in the shops. One's a Steamboat Willie pop-up, which I made using the original, versions of the original artwork, and I made it into like a 3D boat. Oh. But the Far East missed a little bit of glue off, so it doesn't quite shut properly where it should. Doesn't ruin it, but it's,
I love how we're blaming an entire region of the globe for that little bit of glue.
Oh, yeah, it's like it's one tiny bit, and it just supposed to seal the end of the boat shut, the nose of the boat, and it's just kind of a little bit open. And it bugs me because it just.
I hope you threw a diva tantrum when you saw it. Right, so it's for one day only. There is the celebration for the 100th anniversary of the Disney Corporation. Now, I've heard a little bit of negative Nellies chatting about, we only get one day. But to be fair, it's already started. There is already merchandise and, various decor and mentions of it going on. It's a worldwide celebration. And the good news is we are getting some, which I'm about to talk about, entirely new seasons coming. So I'm like, they will still be celebrating the 100th. There will still be mentions of it all over the Disney canon. It just happens that DLP isn't doing a season to it, which, given that we've just come off a 30th season, I'm quite happy with. I would love to be there on the 16th of October, however. Is there anybody who's actually going to be there? I think there were some people in our Facebook group talking about being there on the October the 16th. I'm guessing it's an annual pass blackout day, although it might not be.
My brother's going on the 20th, just missing out.
Gosh darn it. But Disneyland Paris, in my opinion, win the Worldwide Disney Park Award for doing these one-off celebrations. It doesn't tend to land flat like some of the other ones.
Like the 50th did it.
Like the 50th at Walt Disney World, which
We'll
was
put the
not
chairs out and
much.
get everyone sat down and then not do anything.
Not do anything. So I've got quite high hopes for it. Having said that, because it's not a Disneyland Paris centred celebration, it might not be quite as epic as the 30th and the 25th. The 25th remains the benchmark for stuff like this.
I tell you where they are doing the Disney 100 well. Lego. Absolutely nailing it. Some fantastic sets come out. The camera with the little multi-plane camera sat on it as well, and Mickey. That's really cool. There's some really good brickheads. There's
big sets of brickheads as well, isn't there?
We should do a
40th anniversary Return of the Jedi Lego just coming out.
We should do a feature on this called "Let's Talk About Sets, Baby."
Oh, I like it.
We were in Smith's.
Bonnie just says Lego.
Bonnie, was it you putting all the love hearts on?
Yeah.
No, people love us.
We were just in Smith's Toys today, and I saw an advert for the little figures that come in the blind bags for the 100th for Lego. And I literally was stood in the queue, and I disappeared and went, like that,
Robin Hood.
and the family wondered where I'd gone. But thing is, they had like a wall display for it, but I don't think they had the figures in stock because I looked all through the stand and I couldn't find them. So I am now eye out for those.
We've got, because that jumped straight in, Sainsbury's, Trinity Walk in Wakefield, if any of you go there, they have a lot of the Disney 100 stuff, including those blind bags and the Sum Sums as well. But we got the Queen of Hearts and the Evil Queen and another one. I can't think what the other one was, but yeah, they're really good. But Robin Hood's in that set. I mean, if nothing else, I want that. I need that.
Ankita's sending us love from India.
Oh, thanks, Ankita.
That needs to go on the map. Write it in your book. You started a list. That needs to go on the map.
At some point, we need to scratch that off.
We do. It's still there.
Is
It's
it?
waiting. That's my mission. The Dunn family have just shouted. I say shouted because they've used caps in the chat. Lorcana!
Yeah, Lorcana.
That is now on general release, isn't it? In real shops and things. Although I haven't actually seen any of you.
I'm going to buy some this week and I'll try and bring them.
Brilliant.
For when either next week or if you've got another week of trips, then in fact we'll just do it in an EMT, won't we? We'll do it in an EMT.
So there'll be a show and tell for Patreon members. There'll be a show and tell of Lorcana next week.
I'm going to get us a box, and I'll get a box for the thing as well.
For the giveaway.
And then maybe you can trade with us or whatever. I don't know how this all works.
Bob Sangwell will be at the Disney 100 exhibition at London's Excel on the 19th of October if anyone else is there.
It'll be old news by then.
Is
Bob,
anyone
3 years
else
old.
there?
Bob isn't one of the 100-year-old exhibits. I hasten to add.
I didn't know there was a Disney 100 exhibition in London's Excel on the 19th of October, but now I do.
I should be able to go for work.
Ooh.
Oh, please, no, ask if you can.
I might,
ask if you can, I bet you can wrangle that.
Well, actually, I'll be able to tell if I mention it to my boss and he acts a bit awkward. It means he's going and he hasn't told anybody.
I can be a wag.
Someone
Sweat
in our Facebook group, Andrew, shared some stuff in Cost Cutters? Costco.
Costco.
Yeah,
Costco. And one of them was, I think it's about 80 quid, but there's like this, there's a Halloween
I saw
haunted
that.
house with Huey, Dewey and Louie and Mickey and Goofy on it. Oh, but it's £80 and we've nowhere to put. We can put it at the table.
Do you know what, Huey?
What?
Treat yourself.
Yourself.
And in that, I mean...
I don't have a
Treat me.
Costco. I don't have a Costco card. Do you need a Costco card?
Do you know who does? Our friend Ben.
I think the details can be sorted out later. Shall I carry on with some news?
Yeah.
So
Because we've got a trip report to do.
So that's happening on the 16th. Don't know what will happen, but if you can wangle it, I highly recommend... Oh, Emma Sylvester's thinking of going on the 16th. Emma, take us with you in spirit. Report back. Tell everything. Get footage. Thank you. I will not ask again.
Disney 100 celebration at the XL is £33 a ticket, and there are ones available on the 16th, so you could actually go on the day.
That's nothing.
No, £33 a ticket. There you go.
Amazing.
Plus, get into London as well.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. That's £300.
I mean, get someone
get
to
there.
fire up the helicopter, we'll be fine. Right, there is a show extended, and that show is the one that I was desperate to see, but we couldn't see when we were there in August, and that is Avengers: Power of the Night.
I read that as Austin Powers.
It is playing
Austin
now.
Powers, right.
It is playing now. It is playing now until the 5th of November. And then, for reasons I'm not sure about, it goes on a break. So we already knew about this little burst that it was doing over the autumn period. And I said quite confidently last time we spoke about it, oh, it'll be closing on the 5th of November because Christmas starts on the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's now announced that it will start again on the 2nd of December and run until the 7th of January. So it is running over the Christmas period. I don't know what the meaning is of those dates. Maybe some cleverer people than me can tell us. But I cannot stress, just from what I've seen online, this is a show I am so excited to see. It looks so original. It looks so impactful. It makes use of the drone technology again, and it's all Marvel themed, which we desperately need because Paris have got the rights to the Marvel stuff, so they may as well use it. It's a huge draw. So yeah, check that out if you possibly can.
If you want to see what it is without being over there, I think DLP Welcome have got a full video of it, like a decent 4K version video of it, which is really good. If you're one of those people who doesn't mind a spoiler, that's what I'm saying. I know you guys wouldn't watch that, but I would.
I don't think we would watch a spoiler. I've only seen short clips, like we say, at the hope that we might be there. But each to their own.
Oh, and Emma, by the way, meant she thinks she might be going to the London exhibition on the 16th, not to DLP.
Well, if we decide to go, if Hugh manages to convince his boss he can go, you never know. Maritz thought about going on the 16th, but we're going to be there for the pop-up meet and greet last day on the 30th and couldn't justify going a third time in just 2 months. I am glad you brought that up, Maritz, because that's another piece of semi-news that didn't get a headline. Is they have been doing these annual pass holder pop-ups, which we talked about last week, but they hadn't started. We know now who they are for this kind of burst, and it is Oswald and Hortensia in their own kind of sepia-toned background.
Bye, Bob.
And
Ciao, Bob.
bye, Bob. And
Love you.
Tinkerbell in her shrink down to the size of a bug style background. So she's got all her giant thimble and stuff like that to play with.
Kiss.
Yes, her kiss. So it's they look amazing. Now you can only book one per day. So you have to go twice if you're an annual pass holder to be able to go. And also, they are for a short period of time. Like Maritz has just pointed out, I think the last day is the 30th of September. So it's a very short period of time as well. So as far as a perk is concerned...
We're just laughing at Bonnie saying bye, Bob.
Sorry, Lucy.
It's okay. As far as a perk is concerned, it's a bit... like you can only go in a window. I think this is why they're trying to price out British visitors and stuff, because we can't just pop over to meet one character for one day. But obviously it's working for people like Maritz.
Yeah.
And yes, people will be all sorts of exciting places on the 16th, be it London, Paris or Wakefield. Right.
Everyone talk about pop music. London, Paris, New York, Wakefield. Sorry.
What's happening?
You don't know about pop music by M? Have one of those.
Okay. So, a new season was announced from the 8th of January. So this kind of answers something about Power of the Night ending on the 7th of January. That is the official end of the Christmas season. That's when all the decorations come down and all the parades and additional experiences stop. And then the day after, usually we get a bit of dead air at that time of year when they change over to new seasons, but it looks like they're going quick out the gate this time and starting a season called Disney's Symphony of Colour. No end date advertised, so this might be a long-running season, a bit like the 30th. It's going to include a new nighttime projection show, includes a new drone and projection show at night. Now, I don't know, I read it to insinuate that was replacing Dreams, but it might be a pre-show the same way that Disney Delights is a pre-show, and it doesn't say pyrotechnics or fireworks there either. It just says drones and projections. So we'll wait with bated breath to hear more about that. And then there's also, from February the 10th, going to be a Plaza show, which is celebrating the animation of Disney and Pixar. I do like a Central Plaza show, but it doesn't say anything about a parade. Usually when they do them there, it's as part of a parade, and then a stop, and then a show, and then back on a parade and go. But all this will become clear in due course. Yes?
Yes.
Cool.
Katya says if at some point they do Marie, then they'll be buying your passes. And Emma says Katya's being held to that because everyone's witnessed it, and I just wanted to make sure that we said it out loud as well. So
Brilliant.
She has to do it. Birthday girl.
Brilliant. So as soon as they announce... Well, thing is, how much notice do they give you of these pop-up spots? Because we didn't find out who it was until it started. And then it only runs for a month. So I hope you have that money saved up, ready to shoot. Dream and Shine Brighter was only ever listed as a show, so fingers crossed. Brilliant, Alex. That's what I wanted to hear, and that was my suspicion. I do try to avoid being gung-ho with my... What's the word? I don't want to jump to conclusions, so I cover myself by saying I'm not sure what things are, but yes, I'm glad about that. And also, what a fabulous theme. That's so visual. A symphony of colour. I'm excited about that.
The postery. I could call it a poster. Is it a poster when it's on Twitter and Facebook? Can you still call it a poster?
The Sting, yeah.
Whatever it is, yeah. It was pretty nice looking. That's
Yeah.
what I was going to say. It looked good.
Yeah.
Made me want to know more.
The Dunn family are a bit gutted because that new daytime show starts 2 days after they leave the Art of Marvel.
Boo.
Extend,
Stay a bit longer.
extend.
Tag on 2 days at the Disneyland Hotel instead. I know
Yeah.
it probably won't be open then. But
Oh
still.
wow, it might be.
You never know.
Right, so the final piece of news is there's a new show coming to the studios, and it is, these are quotes from Disney, a musical extravaganza inspired by the whimsical world of Alice in Wonderland.
Susie earlier was saying, is that happening in the old stunt show area?
Yes.
I guess it is.
Thoughts. I'll finish my news and then tell me thoughts. An energy-packed musical show that will bring together various types of performers. And I did read DLP reports suggest that this was the answer to why they were advertising for BMX stunt riders a couple of months ago, because this can be the only possible
Because
thing.
nothing else says Alice in Wonderland more than BMX
This
stunt
thing,
riders.
I will be honest, the thought of doing a stunt show for Alice in Wonderland using stuff like stunt riders, and they might do the wheelers out of the second one and stuff like that. That'll be amazing. But
I
that
think you're confusing it with Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, yeah.
yeah, I am. That's so wrong. I think this could be amazing. My question is,
I do think it could be amazing.
where's the entrance to the arena going to be, and how are they going to justify that theming? Because to my knowledge, it's next to the superhero training thing in Avengers Campus, opposite the
Presumably
Super
the
Diner.
back exit bit of Avengers Campus, there'll be a way in there, because isn't that way you used to go in when everything was shut down before? You used to get into it that way when the back lot was all shut, didn't you?
Yeah, maybe.
Down there, so I'd imagine they'll just stick a hole in the wall there so you can get to it.
Or perhaps this is even suggesting that they might have a bit of the Avenue done.
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be good?
Susie says, it just blows my mind. How the heck did they come up with that? Of all the movies, why Alice?
I'm never bothered by what the film is as long as the show is good. And I think Alice in Wonderland could have a lot of good elements to it. Oh, are they going to do the modern Johnny Depp ones?
No.
Are you sure?
In the studio, well, more likely that in
They
the studios
wouldn't dare.
than...
They might do. Well, that's a little
We're just going to have to wait and see.
we are. We're going to have to wait and see. But
It'll be a nice surprise.
It feels so Fantasyland to me, is a thing. It doesn't quite feel studios. But if it's a good show, I won't complain, because that is prime real estate and it needs using. But it did make me go, huh. You know, when it was announced, it wasn't an obvious thing. I was like, oh.
But then it wasn't obvious when they were about to put Jungle Book stuff in there and painted the whole thing green. was it?
Sugar Sweet Samantha's saying, yes, modern one.
How is it? Speaking of voiceover guy says, speaking of films, have you seen Peter and Wendy? But way too 6+, but way too serious. Barely
Lucas loved
laughed.
it. Lucas absolutely loved it.
Made us
and
want to
that made
rewatch
me
it.
enjoy it, because I've not really seen him watch fantasy films of that kind of aimed at his sort of age before, so it was quite nice to see him watching something that, I mean, it's not Goonies or anything like that, is it? But to watch something that I would have been watching when I was his age was quite a nice thing. It was alright.
Wits Wanderlust says they put Emma Watson, Beauty and the Beast in the fireworks show, so I wouldn't be surprised. And Wits Wanderlust, I've never forgiven them for that. That was a real kind of, oh, come on. Because the rest of that was brilliant when the thing with the stars came up. Right, I can feel Hugh getting a little antsy because he wants to get on with his trip report.
Times are wasting.
Okay,
People want to know about my meltdown in Cowboy Cookout.
we do.
I may save.
I lived it.
I may save your Facebook comments for next week, because we are quite short on time now. We only have 20 minutes.
Well, if we've got some time at the end, maybe. It depends how long it takes.
Yes.
Right, shoot Hugh.
Day 3 of our DLP trip in August. It was a late start for us. Very late. We didn't get into the park till 10.
Whoa.
Or did we leave at 10? Did we arrange to meet the Brooks at 10?
Yeah,
Did we meet them, or is that the day we missed them?
we missed them.
Yeah, there was a bit of a miscommunication. They said going via the Marvel Hotel, and they meant they were going inside to look. So we kind of waited outside the hotel and we couldn't find them. Anyway, late start. So we had breakfast, the three of us, before we met them in the park at Rocket Cafe.
Darth Vader waffles with Nutella. Oh yeah.
Now, I went there.
Mustafa bites.
Well, Chris, I went there with intention, as always, to get the Boba Fett biscuit. And of course, they didn't have any. And you know what? I was going to say to them, not in a passive-aggressive way, when they said, no, we don't have any of those. In fact, I didn't say, can I have a Boba Fett biscuit? I just said, do you have any of the Boba Fett biscuits? And I was going to say to them, do you ever have them? No, but not genuine question.
Yeah. Like, did you have them yesterday?
Do you ever have them?
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I would have trusted the response of like, yeah, we have them all the time. You know, it could have been like that. So I just said, I'll have the Mustafa bites, which I love, and I would probably prefer that to the biscuit. But just for once, I want that Boba Fett biscuit. It's become the new Bagheera mango biscuit, which they've stopped even pretending that they sell that now.
That was part of the jungle
Yeah.
thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
So yeah, we ate there on a bench. It's quiet back there behind Hyperspace Mountain, and then we went to do Phantom Manor. We met up with our pals, went on Phantom Manor.
Love Phantom Manor.
I can't wait to hear if you stole anything day 3, says Hilda. I don't think I stole anything this day. Well, anyway, we did Phantom Manor, but then we went to Cowboy Cookout so that our pals could sort of get baby sorted and things. At that point, I was really thirsty. And you know when you're really thirsty, things get a little bit intense, don't they? And I was queuing for a good few minutes. The queue was not moving fast at all. And then I just heard this. It was like a dream because I wasn't listening. I wasn't tuned into it. Someone was going, Monsieur, Monsieur, Monsieur. And I was like, oh. And all of a sudden, I was taken out of that queue and put at the back of a nearby longer queue. And I made a gesture to the people in the queue, like, what? And a guy let me in front of him, which was nice of him, because he could see I'd been taken out. I was about to be served, and then I was like 5 deep.
Oh.
And then, so I kind of went, oh, okay, and I stood in this queue, and then that queue was not moving, and when I realised what had happened, that I'd been moved out of a queue to be put in like a longer queue behind people who turned up after me, I got really frustrated and so thirsty. I left the queue, kind of shaking my head, and the cast member who put me there, bless him, kind of bless him, he went, yes, monsieur, yes, problem? And I just, because I was so thirsty, I just went, threw my hands up and shook my head. Now, I always try to be nice to cast members, but I don't understand why he took me out of that queue. And I was so thirsty that I couldn't make sense of it. So I said to them, I'm not going to drink here. I said, I'd rather wait longer and be thirsty than stand in that queue any longer, because it'd been ages by then. Go on, Chris.
Oh, you must be grumpy.
Interesting, Hugh, because I've got a feeling that this cast member in question probably listens to or watches the show and thought, Hugh needs a story.
I'll show him.
That looks like oog.
I mean, it's not a great story. The thing is, as I walked back, as I kind of threw my hands up and just shook my head, bless him, I could see in the corner of my eye as I rounded the corner and sat back down that he was watching me with a kind of a surprised expression. So I was probably like a bad customer in that situation, but I'd inexplicably just been given bad service. And I don't know why. Yes, I was thirsty. Susie, have I said that about 3 times? Is that why she's saying that?
Hugh, I would have paid to watch this.
Yeah. I'm not proud of it, but yeah.
Was it like anti-magic?
There's somebody in the chat.
Removing pixie dust from it.
Yeah.
There's somebody in the chat called Disneyland Paris.
Yes, there is, yeah.
Hi.
Boba Fett biscuits are about to be harder to find than hidden Mickeys. Interesting. I wonder why that is.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel seen.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was Cowboy Cookout Meltdown.
Yeah.
Just inexplicably moved from just about to be served to 5 deep.
I like that you've got a title for this event.
That was Cowboy Cookout Meltdown. Then we did the Treehouse.
Yes, always a solid option.
The Treehouse.
I just got a drink from that place near Cafe de la Bru, that shop that sells Indiana Jones stuff. It's got something there.
Yeah.
Another top
That's the way to
tip
go.
is if you are an annual pass holder and entitled to discount in shops, go and get your drinks from shops instead of getting them from stands, because then you can get your discount. Yeah.
Ooh.
And then we did Pirates. We were dressed as pirates this day, weren't we?
We were.
Or was it the last day? No, it was the last day, so it wasn't this day. No, forget that. Now, we wanted to do Bella Notte, We never go there because Lucy's allergic to tomato, and we wanted to check out the new Luca-themed room. We went in there. Lucy got... What did you have?
I actually got 3 cheese pasta. So it was a nice creamy pasta, and it was very tasty. I enjoyed it a great deal. I will say it was just a microwave pasta, if I'm honest. But it was good enough to say I will go again and not worry about being poorly with tomato.
And it was all fine in there, wasn't it?
It was good.
Bonnie had...
Was it nicely themed?
It's
Well... We'll
Beautiful.
get to that. We sat in the regular Bella Notte room.
Oh, okay.
which is beautifully themed,
Yes,
as you know.
which is
It's
fine.
quite dark and the tables are quite close together compared to Chateau de la Marionnette, so it does feel a little bit close and dining roomish. However, if you take your eyes above the human filth and actually look at what the Imagineers have done at the top and on the roof
It's
and on the
good in there,
pillars,
yeah.
it's beautiful.
And do parents, do you do that thing where, if you've got a fussy eater, where you buy them 2 things so that they've got a choice, and I just think, I'll eat the other one.
Yeah.
So I can't remember. I think we got like a spaghetti and meatballs and a pizza, and she had the spaghetti, I think. I can't remember.
And you
I
had
do
the
that with Laura.
meatballs and the pizza.
Yeah. You know, with your wife.
Kids.
So we went to look at the Luca room, but it was cordoned off, and we had to sort of ask, do you mind if we just have a look? You know, took some pictures. But it was kind of like exclusive. It's like a VIP
Because
area.
there were people in there.
Yeah.
But there was a woman at a rope, so we don't know what was going on. We don't know if it was some kind of event or if... we don't know.
Was it a private party?
Yeah, in the Luca room of Bella Notte.
Hi, Mercedes. We've just been talking about you.
Sea monsters only,
Jen
probably.
Wren says, we tried the meatballs and spaghetti last month and it was surprisingly decent.
Yeah.
Pasta was al dente.
And people say things
What you
like... People say things like, oh, you just get like a box standard cheap pizza. But the pizza's fine for what it is, man. And it's Mickey shaped.
Bonnie says, it's not my fault, I'm picky.
I think
It kind of is your
I think
fault,
it is your fault.
I think that's you admitting it's your
Of all
fault.
the things you can blame on us, well, maybe yeah.
Do you know what?
I don't know.
I used to have things like licorice that I could buy in abundance and nobody would touch it.
No one would steal
And
it.
now Lucas tries everything, and most of the things that I like, he likes
Oh,
as well.
no.
So I end up having to share. It's not fair. It's not fair.
Yeah.
So I used to be able to do like you say, buy 2 things and I'll have the other one, knowing full well that one of them they wouldn't like. So I actually got something I wanted.
Yeah.
But these days that doesn't happen anymore.
I did that. I was having Tony's chocolate with the sea salt and the caramel, and Bonnie was like, "Oh, what's that, Mummy?" And I'm going, "It's got salt
You wouldn't
in it.
like
You
it."
won't like it."
Very, very salty.
Oh,
Very salty. Right. Brookie and I, for our puddings, decided we wouldn't have dessert there. We wanted a pineapple whip.
Oh yeah.
We wanted another bro date. So we went there.
So you thought I've already had disappointment once today.
Let's so well, Chris, we weren't disappointed. Oh, were we? We went to Café de la Bruce. Both windows were open. We took one each, and I could hear rumblings from Brookie's window before mine, and the machine was broken.
No.
The machine was broken, and at that point, do you know when Chandler just goes, "Sure,"
yeah.
because like it can't take any more disappointment, so he just says, "Sure."
You're making it out like we had a really bad trip full of disappointments.
Well,
These are like little
We
things.
they said come back in about 20 minutes or something. We went back an hour later. Well, actually, Brookie did a dirty, and he went back somehow before me and got and had finished one by the time we met up, and he'd had one.
No, that's Brookie for you.
He'd already had it, is it? Is that the kind of thing he does?
No, it's more that he eats really quickly.
Because-
you could have turned your back and if you got one, you could have had
Well,
two.
I was talking to Kat, his wife, on the they were talking on the phone, and she said, "I don't want to get in the middle of this." I said, "What's going on?" And it turned out he'd already had one, so we didn't have our bro date. But I went back, and the machine was working apparently. But I said, because I thought they can do ice cream and they've got pineapple juice. Because I said to her, like, just some ice cream and some pineapple juice, anything, and she kind of went, "Oh, okay." But I think she did actually. The machine was working, and it wasn't great.
No.
It's in that new edible
Basket thing.
cup thing, that bowl, which is and the spoon's edible, but it tastes like a very, very bland chocolate Belvita.
Oh.
Does the spoon. And I will say, while it was still pretty good, it's the worst of the 4 variations that we've
Right,
had.
so the 4 being mango whip,
They used to do the pineapple whip float, which was just ice cream and pineapple juice, sauce. Then they did the mango whip. Then they did the Dole whip. And then this, I don't know what this was. It was kind of like a sloppy halfway between sorbet and soft serve.
Remember, this is only Hugh's taste buds. You might disagree, but of the 4, which is king?
Sophisticated. The mango whip.
Mango whip.
Of course.
The Dole Whip was a firm winner with us when we were there last year, so it's a real shame that they introduced it for less than a year?
Yeah.
And got rid of it?
Yeah, we think that's licensing, don't we?
Mercedes is liking the bland chocolate Belvita description. Emma says, our bowl disintegrated long before we finished the pineapple whip. Soft serve with pineapple puree in the bottom of the bowl. Yeah, so I don't know if it's because the machine had been broken or what, but it wasn't brilliant. It was still nice, but it was the worst of the 4 variations.
Okay.
Well, Bonnie has now admitted, okay, maybe it's my fault, ... a little. Well, we're glad that you're being honest with yourself, Bonnie.
Me, Kat and I and Bonnie and Peter, little Peter, went on Thunder Mountain.
Ooh.
And there were some bad queuers in there.
Naughty queuers.
Lucy's saying, where's the magic?
I know, it's just finding things to moan about.
Whoa.
What was a wonderful day?
You were off shopping or something, but we were holding the line because this family, every time we turned around, they were sneaking up the outsides, and I felt like saying, where do you think you're going?
Yeah.
They were just trying to get in front of us. It's and so we were elbows out, and we stood our ground, and they didn't get past us. Annoyingly, at one point, the queue splits into 2, and they didn't take the hint. They followed us into the left-hand bit of the queue, and I thought, why have you done that? If you want to get past us so much, go in the other queue.
Lucy's worried about this and the picture that we're painting here, but this is Hugh's ideal day.
He loves a moan.
This gives me energy.
He loves a moan.
Anyway,
and for some reason,
this is the magic.
You guys seem to enjoy Hugh's moan as well.
Some people don't like it. I love it. Take your pick.
He's being the magic he wants to
Listen,
see.
no more moaning now, guys.
I like how you left last week's. I said, "Be your magic," and he went, "I made him disappear. I am the magic."
Yeah.
Alex Ford said, "Is the rope at Luca's at the Bellanotte like the one in Cases where they're just making sure that you've actually got food before you go in there?"
Maybe it is because we didn't have food in our hands. We went to look at it after we'd eaten, so maybe that's why we stopped. It does actually.
Good intel.
Ah, you see.
Good intel. Who was that?
They just disappeared off the top.
Alex. Was it Alex or Alid? Alex, I think.
Yeah, and Stan Solo says, "Isn't Dole Whip and Pineapple Whip the same thing, only it's not sponsored by Dole?" That was last year. That was the case.
Yeah.
Because they'd said that it wasn't strictly speaking Dole, but it was the same thing.
Yeah, it's the
now.
same frozen
Not
treat,
anymore.
but it was a licensing thing with the Dole company. But
Now it's
now I
pineapple
don't
ice
know what we've got.
Swirly thing, something it's called.
Now, you're lucky, because I could have done 20 minutes on that queue.
Ranting.
Yeah, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
Now, we all, it was time for the Brooks to go back because, they're younger children than us. And we agreed to go back to the hotel. And at one point I said to Lucy, why are we going back? So we pretty much recharged for half an hour and went back to the park.
Ooh.
Now, this wasn't necessarily a secret from the Brooks, but we didn't actually tell them. And
Have
at
you
one
told them
point,
since, or
no,
is this a reveal?
no. And at one point, Brookie messaged and said, "We're actually in the bar if you're free or whatever."
And you said, "Oh, we're
And I
just
didn't
tired."
reply because we were sat in the Hyperion watching Mickey Shorts and eating food. No, because
Oh, yes.
because I think
What time was it?
this was late, so I think maybe Peter was having a late bedtime.
It was like 7 p.m.-ish.
But you'd been up for the lights and stuff, the illuminations the night before. hadn't you?
There was no reason for this. It's just it would have because we decided on the way back I don't know. It's odd. Well, they wouldn't have come back with us to the park. So it's at what point do you tell them, and then what point do you not tell them? So we just decided not to mention it.
Can
And
I
we've
just
never,
point
they never
out-
mentioned it.
It was a really hot week. And yes, it had gone into the evening, but we when you've had a full day at the park, you've got a slight film of sweat.
Yeah.
So one of my favourite places to go is to the Hyperion for tea, because even when it's busy it doesn't feel like it because the ceilings are so high and it's air conditioned, and then you can just sit there and watch Mickey shorts. And I think what you're lacking on your holiday, any holiday, is the half hour when you sit down and splodge on the sofa and just watch TV. That's what we did. And it's like, there was a couple of times on this holiday when I went, this is exactly where I want to be right now. And that was one of them. I'm so glad we went back.
I love the Hyperion, watching Mickey Shorts, eating the sort of weird McDonald's food. Perfect. That's not a rant.
No,
No, absolutely not.
I'm getting some love for these rants, you know. And Wits Wonderland. Nate shows up for the Hugh rants, and then Nate says Hundo P, which I've never heard before, which I love. Hundo P, Hugh rants are life. I am saying Hundo P.
I only understood what Hundo P was when you said it out loud.
I'm loving that.
Hundo P.
Now, Elaine Parks.
That's my new phrase.
Isn't that a Star Wars name?
Yeah, Hundo P. Elaine says more positively, we had the pineapple whip when we were there in August and loved it, and went back in May, and my daughter met so many characters. So that's a different angle from we held the line in the Thunder Mountain queue.
But also, about snacks or any food that we talk about, taste buds are different. I personally do not like mango as a flavour.
The number of reviews, especially for Disney World, where people have gone, I don't rate this, it's rubbish, it's cheap, and I really like it.
Yeah.
Like that Twinkle Twinkle Little Bat slush. That was good. Anyway, that was basically it. The only difference was we were walking around Fantasyland. We did Small World and Pirates, but we were walking to and from there after the previous day when Brookie wasn't allowed in to Fantasyland
Do you think it was just Brookie?
due to the parade. Maybe.
I mean, he does have a look about him sometimes.
I think
So we seem to be more free to move around
it
that
might
night.
have been the word letting new people in. But
And
we
you were already
were
there.
already there, but we certainly weren't getting shepherded out.
But at one point we walked past the castle stage and in, and I think that's where Brookie was stopped. I think.
Maybe it was busier the day before.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But it was nice to walk around. It's really dark there sometimes. Like you can easily trip up. It gets very dark in the parks.
Particularly, there's bits of Adventureland that are really dark, and I would encourage you to take care. But it's also extra magical. It feels like it's a land that you've just discovered yourself. I love walking around Disneyland late at night, and it
We're getting trolled by our daughter. She's just putting in separate comments. Be the magic.
That's Mummy's mantra. When Hugh gets too like grumpy in the park, I turn around and go, Hugh, be the magic.
I am the magic.
That's my advice to all of you. When you're in the parks, don't rely on other people to be the magic. You need to be the magic.
But that was day 3. That just leaves the last day, which we did studios and the main park. We did both that day.
And got a train back.
Oh, and you're going to tell us about that next week then?
And we will talk about that next week. Look at that, 3 minutes to spare. I think you can get 3 minutes worth
I could
of...
probably do that, yeah. If any of you got trip reports, by the way, after next week we'll have run out of things to talk about from these guys, so we're ready for more trip reports. Email them to
We do.
mailbox at
Yak on.
37disneystreet.co.uk. It's in the description. Bang some likes in quickly while I find this.
Emma says lots of
Likey.
lots of people weren't being the magic when we were there, and I kept reminding Katia that we had to. That reminds me of like when I'm in a playground with Bonnie and there's some children not doing the right thing, and I have to turn to Bonnie and go, "They're not doing the right thing, are they, Bonnie? We always do the right thing."
I don't see how letting a family push in front of you and bully you out the way is being the magic.
No, they weren't being the magic. They were being bad. They weren't
Yeah.
being the magic. But you could have turned...
I taught them a lesson. I was the magic.
You could have turned around and given them a winning smile and maybe a sticker.
Yeah, a smile and gone, back up. Back up.
Oh,
Love you.
Imagineers can design everything, but they can't design humans, can they? We wish.
So,
Right.
we have a Facebook group. Hugh mentioned it at the start of the show. It's in the description at the below. In the description below, unless you're watching this on a television, in which case there is no below, but it's in the description. It's the Disneyland Paris Show, 37 Disney Street, and every week I ask for you to add your comments because I can't go through everything that everyone posts in there because there's so much great content, but there's just too much for me to get through. We'd need a show in itself just to do that. So here we are. These are the comments this week. Emma Sylvester says at Cattyton 37 today. We've already said that, and they've had a fab time celebrating in DLP during the week. They took a last-minute trip, if you remember them saying last week.
Yeah.
What better a birthday? I can't think of a better 37th birthday.
Pauline Stott says, I haven't booked yet, but was shocked that it will be £834 for 3 nights for me and an 11-year-old at Cheyenne. Prices are ridiculous now. So far, we have £20 saved for our big 40th, 21st holiday in 2029, though. £20.
Yeah.
What is that saved in coppers in a jar on the shelf?
Stacey Warner, who's in the chat, I believe, or was, not sure if you want this for the show, but I've made progress on my Disney bounding. I'm definitely no seamstress, and the dungarees are only a second item of clothing I've made, but I'm pretty proud of myself anyway. Here we go. Let's have a look at this.
Let's look. Right, who's she being? Can we remember? She told us last week. My mind's gone blank.
I can't remember.
I know.
Just drop it down a little bit.
I know.
Green hat.
Come on. It's a mouse.
Oh, of course it is, yes. It's Gus Gus.
Gus Gus!
It's got a GG in the thing as well.
Yes. Gus Gus!
Gus.
That's amazing.
Very good.
Very
Outstanding
good.
work there.
Louise Marie says, just saw the new Haunted Mansion movie and it's so amazing, loved it. We'll give it 10 out of 10.
Chris, we're still in the
Surprisingly good.
custard void.
We're still in the custard void, thank you.
Listeners,
We're
that's
out
just
of the custard void.
that's just a screen we have up.
These two haven't seen it, but me and Bonnie saw it, and we were very pleasantly surprised. It's my favourite of the 3 Haunted Mansion shows. Surprisingly scary and quite sad.
I was thinking about this, by the way. Perhaps we should be doing, as our next classics thing, we should throw ourselves into the park films and do a series of the park films over a long period of time through the old Patreon. Anyway,
We need to do pirates for sure.
Andrew Palmer, he of Costco Post, said
fame.
once the 130th, not 130th, but the 100 and the 30th anniversaries are over, will parks get quieter and cheaper with more discounts? ? And Cheryl, our administrator and founder of the Facebook group, said probably not. As they'll just start to promote other seasons, which I think is very true. We've already seen the colour one in January being
I'm
announced.
still not entirely sure how much of a draw these. Well, I don't know. There must be the anniversary seasons are, but it just gives them visuals and it gives them themes to go for certain parades and things like that. I think if people want to go, they'll go. Particularly first time and last time visitors. They don't know these things are on.
No.
So they're just like, well, we want to go to Disneyland Paris next year. They don't know it's the 30th. It's more people like us who will go, oh, there's a new season. There's this colour thing. We've got to go see this what did I say it was called? Spectacle of Colour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Samantha Jane Knight says, I'm excited for the 12th of September when they open the reservations for the Disneyland Hotel. Then we'll get a better idea of when it's going to reopen. I really miss Inventions and Fantasia Cafe, so I hope they have something similar. Also, in my opinion, the new Haunted Mansion movie is better than the previous one. I'd also like to see a remake of the Disney TV film The Tower of Terror, which might be happening. Question mark?
Yeah, it did have Scarlett Johansson attached, didn't it?
And finally, Cam Wood says, I booked a trip for November with Magic Flex. The weekend is now blacked out with the new APs. Not happy.
Oh, you must be grumpy.
I wonder if they can honour that in some way. Have you managed
Well, I
to
hope
contact
so.
them? Because that's really gutting.
Boo.
Really gutting.
Big boo. And that's it. That's the stuff for this week. If you've got things to share with us, keep sharing on the Facebook page anyway. But I'll drop a post in on Friday or Saturday next week for next week's show, and you can just put all your stuff on there, and we'll get around to it. We'll talk about it. And if you've got a trip report, email it. What else do we have to say about that?
That's all.
We're on Twitter as well sometimes, but the Facebook page is probably the best place to get us these days.
And if you want a little extra bit of us, for an extra 20 minutes, you can join Patreon for just £3 a month and help keep us in microphones and website hosting and all the just little bits and bats that go with running a YouTube channel. So thank you very much for today. I've been Lucy. These have been the boys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Are you gonna give it back?